Hello, parents and families. This is your third grade teachers here, and we are excited to share with you some information about the LEAP 2025 test that your student will be taking this year. All students in grades 3 through 5 will take the LEAP 2025 ELA Math, Science, and Social Studies assessments. These assessments provide information for educators and parents about students' readiness and whether students are on track for college and their future careers. These are the achievement level definitions. For advanced, this means that the student has exceeded the expectations. Mastery means that the student has met the expectations. Basic means that the student has nearly met the expectations. Approaching basic means that the student has partially met the expectations. And unsatisfactory means that the student has not yet met the expectations. Here is our LEAP 2021 testing schedule. We will begin testing on Wednesday, April 28th, and it will carry through Tuesday, May 4th. And this will be all of the subjects: ELA, Math, Science, and Social Studies. And our test for third grade is going to be paper-based. Now we're going to go over our session times. On day one, April 28th, we will be taking an ELA session and a math session. They are both going to be 75 minutes each. And then on day two, April 29th, we will take another ELA and math session. And the ELA session is 75 minutes. The math session is 85 minutes. And then on day three, it will be the third session for ELA and math. ELA session is 60 minutes and math session is 75 minutes. When we return the following week on day 4, May 3rd, you will have 3 sessions of science. One session, the first session will be 75 minutes, and then the second 2 sessions will be 70 minutes. And then on day 5, the last day of testing, they will have 2 sessions of social studies, and they will each be 75 minutes. Here are some examples of the designs that you will see on the test.
So for the first 3 days of testing, students will be taking both the ELA and the math assessments. And I wanted to talk for just a moment about the design of the ELA assessment. I wanted to first put your mind at ease. The design of the test, the LEAP that the students will take in April through May, is exactly what they've worked through the entire school year. So students are very familiar with the format of a cold read like they will see on the LEAP test. The design of the ELA includes complex literary and informational text. It has a full range of text from across different disciplines. So they will have a science text, social studies, and the arts. The task includes the integration of key ELA skills by asking students to read text, answer questions, and then write a response using evidence from the text that they've read. We have a big focus on this test with citing evidence and words that are essential to understanding the meaning of the text. So here is an example, and this is actually one your third grader has actually taken already this school year. Although this is set up like the digital version of the test, please know that your students will be taking it on paper, just like they have been doing in class all year. So you'll see that the students are taking a text that they've read, and it's a cold read text. It's about on their grade level, and they will answer 2 questions. The first question is part A, and it has them strictly pulling their answer from the text. And then part B is always, are they able to support their answer using evidence from the text? They will also be writing on the first 2 days of the ELA test for the LEAP 2025. Again, students are going to be asked to read either one passage or 2, depending on the test that they're taking. And again, they'll respond to the prompt using evidence from the text.
I also wanted to talk about the math assessment design. It relies on application of procedural skills and fluency to complex problems. It also requires students to demonstrate mathematical reasoning skills and modeling in real-world situations. Each item is referred to a task, such as type 1, type 2, or type 3. Type 1, the description is conceptual understanding, fluency, and application. Type 2 is written arguments and justifications, critique of reasoning or precision in mathematical statements. And type 3 is modeling or application in real world contexts or scenarios. There will also be a variety of multiple choice and constructive response problems on the math section of the LEAP test.
Here's an example of a constructed response problem. Like Ms. Ryan said before, we also have practiced with these types of math problems this year in math. So your students are familiar with this.
As for the social studies portion of the LEAP test, it is set in, or it's designed in set bases. They are going to have probably 1 to 4 related sources to provide the context from which students answer a set of questions. These questions ask students to use content knowledge and the sources to show an understanding of social studies content and concepts. And these item sets include selected responses questions, and some sets culminate with a constructed response question. And again, these students are familiar with these designs as they've seen them all year. So here is another example of what the students could see on their test. Again, this is a digital example, but they will be taking it paper-based. But they will see a variety of questions that ask them to select 3 correct answers, 2 correct answers, the best answer, and they can also see some constructed responses like this one. They'll have a source and they will have to refer to those sources and come up with their constructed response answer. And as for science, they're going to see selected response, traditional multiple choice with 4 answer options, and questions that have only 1 correct answer, as well as multiple select questions with given answer options and more than 1 correct answer. So they'll see a few different types of multiple choice questions. They'll also see 2-part selected response questions, which require them to answer 2 related questions worth 2 points. And they'll also see some constructed responses. These require a brief response provided by the student and will be scored using a rubric. These items may require a brief paragraph, a few sentences, or completion of a chart. They will see questions like this with the sources. They've actually seen this question before about forces with the toy truck. They'll have to refer to the sources, answer the questions provided.
Okay, now let's talk about preparing your student for the LEAP 2025 test. What to do on the days leading up to the 25. Do not stress about the test. It's going to be a breeze for them because we have been working hard to prepare them all year for this test. They're going to do great. Talk about the test in a positive way. Just remember that the students feed off of your energy. So if you're positive, they're going to come into it in a positive way as well. Mark your calendars and be prepared to be at school. And then spend time reading with your child. We know that reading helps in all of the subject areas. During the testing dates, arrive to school on time. This is important so that we can make sure that everyone is here and accounted for. Make sure that you eat a good breakfast, or your student eats a good breakfast every day before testing. And then send them off on a positive note and an encouraging note, as they're getting out of the car or before you send them off on the bus, do a great job today, do your best, just be encouraging for them. Try your best to schedule appointments outside of the testing dates and make sure that they get plenty of rest. Go to bed and get a good night's rest. If you have any questions, there is a Google form that you'll be able to submit your answer or your questions to, and our instructional coach, Mr. Davis, will get back with you with any of your questions that you have. Thank you.